Kel just left. Oh no, everyone's leaving. Okie doke, ladies. The two of you, I think Kel and Dagmar will come back. And who knows whatever else anyone's doing. Oh, here's Kel. It's just as fine in replay. And this just means whatever you guys need, we will get to. There's Dagmar, yay. Awesome. So we'll move forward. There you are. You didn't miss anything.
I lost internet, you guys. I'm not sure what happened.
That's okay. We didn't start. We're starting now. So you're all good. So yeah, I just want to take a few seconds to anchor in to this sacred space and to ask that any conflicting energy that's out of focus from your bliss biz to just gently pause and either continue down into Gaia to be transmuted entirely, or just suspend. We will pick that up later. But right now we're going to dive into exploring our beautiful bliss biz, the fractal of our growing creation, and dotting some I's, crossing some T's. So one big cleansing breath. Awesome. Okay. So I wanted to start with sort of bridging the gap between Elixir 3 and 4, because a lot of you may have not finished 4 because you're still in 3. And I just want to kind of bring it all full circle and zoom out to make you aware that, again, it's a cyclical, it's a spherical entity. It's not linear. So you could literally pick any dose in any elixir, press play, and it will be relevant. It's not a do this, then do this to do this. It's just dive in, press play, and do. And as you do little chunks, the pieces will flesh out and you will have this pretty amazing machine. And I wanted to just expose to you the essence that you may have assumed, but I want to explicitly say that anything you do with your bliss biz is mimicking the flow within Elixir 3 Vishuddha Talk, specifically that document called Your Vishuddha Talk Playbook. I want to add this lens to it so that you're aware, because some of you may have already been thinking, oh, well, maybe that's the case. And it absolutely is. Whether you are setting up a landing page for an ebook, the ebook itself, a masterclass series, a Vishuddha talk, any funnel mechanism, even emails and posts, content, any content that is designed to get people engaged with your information, your magic, is going to follow this same psychological layering. And it's probably why it takes 7 times for someone to be like, I'm going to buy. And again, that's just an average. We don't know. Some people go right away. Some people tell me, oh my gosh, I've been following you for 3 years. I'm glad I finally, got this course. It just depends, right? Some people, they listen to me once and they've signed up for my biggest program, all over the map. But the general gist is, whether you're delivering it in person, digitally, through visual media, written media, or both, you're always going to follow this flow about setting that space, getting people to center in with the information you're about to share, which is why we did that little heart breath thing. Sometimes I forget and we go in right away, but it's important. Setting the stage, telling them what you're going to be saying, because this way your mind wants to go ahead and go, well, where are we going with this? Where are we going with this? If you already give them the wireframe of where you're headed, they can relax and enjoy the ride, because their ego says, oh yeah, I know where we're going because you told us. So it's sort of like going to a mountain and saying, now this is what we're going to do as we climb, instead of getting there and saying, follow me. And everyone's like, I don't know. What are we doing? So
Mhm.
set the space, set the stage, then connect, sharing your story. Why should they listen to you? And the most human thing that connects us is story, because we relate, and we relate to the person speaking. And as soon as someone talks about their memories, their past, what they've been through, how they got to where they are, you immediately connect with that substance, and you ease into this phase of understanding that unifies you with the speaker. So it's a, no matter what you're doing, again, you're going to want to set the space, set the stage, you're going to want to connect. And then after you explain why you know what you're talking about, and again, this can be curiosity alone, it can be education, or it can be your mess. Those three things that we talked about very early on, that triad absolutely qualifies you to teach, even if it's just curiosity. Some of the best teachers in the world have simply asked a question and gone to find the answers and said, hey, this is what I found. So don't get stuck in that frozen self-sabotage of, I can't teach on this because I know nothing about it mode, because that's false. That's just a wall you're building. So this is great news, because whatever you fancy, whatever you decide, this is your bliss biz. Tomorrow you may wake up and go, man, you know, I've always been curious about lucid dreaming. I'm going to teach a masterclass. I'm going to write an ebook. And you don't have to get certified, and you don't have to even have had a lucid dream. It could be called the quest to experience a lucid dream. And you're teaching them how you are going about positioning yourself to have one. Okay. So really keep that in mind. You don't have to be an expert at all. I don't know much about Qigong, but I know as a dancer, the importance of flow and energy with your body and your movement. And so I've been learning this technique over the last few months alone, because I wanted to find out more about it. You bet I'm going to be teaching it inside of my waterbending class. And yet I'm not an expert. I have no certifications. It simply doesn't matter. And actually I'm going to be evolving the technique. So set the space, set the stage, connect, teach and transform. So in addition to the teaching, you want them to actually try it. So try to build in either a process in whatever it is you're giving them, step 1, step 2, step 3, whatever it is, or hey, let's take a moment and respond. Let's write down, you know, you can ask them to verbalize it, think about it, journal it, whatever you want to do to get them involved, chat it out, however you want to engage them. Now, in doing so, it transforms whatever it is you're doing into a workshop, because there's a tactile component, thinking, doing, being, the triad. You don't really want to just teach just to talk. You want them to go, oh, and now it's your turn, which is why it works really well to slice the pie of delivery into a teaching week, a doing week, a coaching week, and a mastermind, because it involves most of the senses that occur naturally in the teaching process. Okay. And then the all important offering more, and perhaps waiting to give them the full transformation till after you explain the offer. If you're like me and you're long-winded and you're getting to a 40-minute marker and you said it would be an hour, don't push through to finish teaching. Say, you know what? I really want to take this opportunity now to invite you, to tell you more about the opportunity to take this further with me. The other thing is, you absolutely want to mention at the very beginning, when you're setting the stage, when you're telling them what we're about to do, you want to say, you know, things like, we're in the right place if this, this, and this. And by the way, I'm going to be offering this amazing opportunity for you to work with me closely over a 5-week period. Now, this may not be for everyone. However, it's going to X, Y, and Z. More on that later. Now we go into your story, blah, blah, blah. We teach, we transform. When you come back to offering more, they're excited to hear more. It's not a surprise. It's not an abrupt switch between sharing into sales mode, right? And then the decision and enrollment is something that needs to be crystal clear. We don't want to have a lot of options. Overwhelm creates frozen. People will retreat. It will be too much for them to decide, so they will do nothing at all. And so it's click here, and this is the price. And if it's over, I'd say $500, you're going to use the technique that I teach you in the next Elixir for your megadose. You're not going to say, click here to pay me $999. No, you don't do that. We won't do that. But if it's less than, say, $500, yeah, you could, if you do a good job of setting it up, you could say the price. But otherwise, the decide and enrollment is it's a call to action, very simple. There's a limiter, either through time, you have 24 hours, either through price reduction, it's slash just, for the first number reduction, 10 people. Exclusivity, I can only take whatever. And so that combination, but it has to be urgent, it has to be direct, and you have to ask. You would not believe how many people I see that do these amazing presentations, and they're like, okay, so awesome, take care. And you're like, what if I wanted more? What am I going to do? Right? Give them something. They don't have to do it, but you should give them something to take the next step if they'd like to. Otherwise, as I like to say, you're preparing them to purchase from someone else, because if they're that intrigued, they're going to go find someone who's going to give them more. So you don't do them a service by not saying anything. So the point of me bringing this up before we get into the next phase is just be sure that you understand, no matter what you're doing, everything is a Vishita playbook framework, which I just showed you. And that's why in the sales page, it goes through almost all of these. That's why in the talk, in the script, you go through all of it. Now, if you still haven't written your 60-minute presentation, scroll down and do it. Okay. And Kel and I were talking, she's gone, but she was here earlier. If you don't like to plan because it makes you freeze, or you get you get drowned in the logistics, this is all you need to press play and vibe, free flow. If you have a bullet point and it says set space and prepare, set the stage, literally you could have this information written out on one piece of paper, and you could say, okay, I'm going to set space and prepare, and vibe with that. How do you want to do it? And then take a breath and look down and go, okay, next is set the stage. So welcome, blah, 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 blah. And you vibe with it. Really, truly, you don't need to plan as far as you think. If someone said to me, you have 60 minutes now on a topic, put your hand in this bucket, pull it out, whatever it says, you got to give a talk on. I'm confident that I could actually give a really decent talk on it using this outline, knowing really nothing about anything other than my curiosity, relating all of these points. And so I guess my point is, get on with it, try it, set a date, say you're going to do it, have a page that says you're invited. This is what we're briefly going to talk about. Here's the form, name, email. That's it. And get your feet wet. Do your talk. It's not hard. Press record, see what happens. It's just the first time, so that would be my advice. And then let me just check the chat here. So that's really all I wanted to say about that, because I wanted to tie the two together. Because when you're thinking about, well, I don't know what to do for a masterclass series, it's the same information again, just extrapolated out, adding more value, adding handouts, and then you can follow let's see, what does this say? That reminds me of how's lines it is anyway. Oh yeah, just go. Yeah, you just got to go. Just go. So Kel, you just chatted, but I don't see you.
I'm here.
Oh, yep, there you are. It was good. Awesome. Good, good, good. I'm so glad you're here. For some reason, my view wasn't showing you. So I'm going to try and fix my view real quick. I thought you had left. I was like, oh no, I hope she's okay. Let's see. Okay, so that's really all I wanted to share about that. And now moving into wireframing your masterclass. I'm going to share my screen one more time, and then we're going to open it up to what do you guys want to chat through in terms of anything we've done so far on this journey. I know it's a lot, but really, you know, I've been hearing from you guys again and again that the more you learn, the more you see the big picture of all of it and how it all works together and the important elements of the whole funnel. And it's like, oh my gosh, it makes so much sense, that fractal zooming in, zooming out. Suddenly you're aware and you're like, oh, and as I said, if you just take little chunks by chunks by chunks, you're going to round out into this amazing body of work that is yours. That can change over time, right? Your medicine for the moment, which is simply amazing to me to think, you know, even if tomorrow you decided you wanted to teach people how to grow their own plants for food or whatever, doesn't matter. Suddenly you want to teach people how to create a combination of ingredients to protect them from bacteria, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You want to start helping people with their mood and their depression during COVID, for example. You would still do everything that I'm teaching you. So this is the framework upon which it's like the palette, and you get to choose the colors, and you get to paint limitless art and deliver it to the world. And the more you do it, the more comfortable it will be, and you can literally follow your bliss. So I'm sharing my screen because this now is in Elixir 4, the masterclass wireframe, and you will see that it wraps in elements that we just talked about that are the psychological, feel-good way to deliver a compelling Vishita talk, okay? It's all got the same stuff: your story, history of information, the science and technology, why what you're doing is special, how to do it, let's do it together, let's practice, and then let's upsell the final unit. And this is just one of my favorite questions was from Dagmar a couple weeks ago. Well, maybe, yeah, 2 weeks ago. She said in chat something like, well, does it have to be 5 weeks or something to that effect? And my answer was, whatever you want to do. So guys, this is your creation. There is no, you must do this, this, and then this. With a masterclass, you decide. It can be 20-minute audios and a handout. It can be just handouts. It can be an hour-long presentation where it's live. It can be 3 weeks. It can be 5 weeks. It can be 8 weeks. And so zoom out, ask yourself, what does my ideal client want? And then create that program. You don't need to fit it into some sort of box that you think it has to be. These are just ideas. These are just the things that I have found. Yep.
I have a question I had to, so on number 5, the live application practice.
Yeah.
What came to mind for me is like doing a live Q&A with people after having them practice certain things. And so, is that something that, I'm not sure what you intended with it, but so I'm wondering, you know, we do something like that, or maybe I do a live presentation of a healing with someone or something, But then once it's recorded and you go back and have a recorded version, obviously it's not going to be live anymore. So
It doesn't, yeah, that's okay in replay. So what happened to me doing that, it became my favorite class over the 5 weeks. So my Anahata Codes Masterclass series, I think it was class 4, was always this. It was a live, practical, let's practice. And so I always had a volunteer who said,
Okay.
yes, I will join. And in the
Okay.
whole hour, all I did was press record and do what I've taught them through the whole thing. So I essentially have them pull codes based on their physical issues, mental, emotional,
gotcha.
or spiritual needs or desires. But
Mhm.
basically everything I taught them in the previous, so week 1, it was about my story, where I came from, then
Mhm.
into the history of what are the Anahata codes? How did they come to me? Why am I teaching this information? Into how does it work was the next week. What's the science? What's backing up what I'm saying? How is this different, unique? Week 4, what do we do? Okay, you ask, align, allow. How do we do that? And it was all practical. But then the next week, it was like as if it was a session. It was a live session.
Okay.
And of course, when it was done, it was in replay. And whether they join live or in replay, it's helpful to have that course within your masterclass that ties everything together so that people go, oh, now I get how to do it from start to finish.
Gotcha.
And then the final week is, oh my gosh, I can't wait the final week is when I do the Q&A. I do Q&A and upsell because I want people to come with their questions, but I want to get them excited about the next opportunity they have to, either get certified or go on to whatever it is I'm funneling them to.
Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of, you've probably heard the, I don't know if it's an adage, tell them what you're going to teach them, tell them what you taught them.
Oh, okay.
So that's the way effective teachers, they tell you what they're going to teach you, they teach it, and then they tell you what they've taught you so that you can get it again. You reiterate. And so that's what the first portion is. Hey, this is the framework. Moving into this is what it is, teaching. And then that 5th one, how? I'm telling you what we've taught you. So let's do it. It's going to be a framework for you to remember the whole thing, and it all comes together, and then you do the upsell. So I hope, does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you. It does. Very good.
Awesome. And actually, one thing that I didn't put in here that I wish I would have, and it is in the bonus material, but some of you may never get there. If it doesn't interest you, one of the cycles about master classes talks about after everything's said and done, hold on. I totally lost my train of thought because I was thinking about something next. Hold on. It's important. So I want it to come back. Oh, it's gone. Oh, well, if it comes back, it comes back.
Right. It'll
Darn
come
it.
back eventually.
Something about the masterclass series that you should definitely keep in mind. It'll come back. I'll think of it in a minute. So anyway, so that's the zoomed out, tying it all together framework and the psychology behind connection, giving people value, having them be interested in what it is and offering them something tangible and being the urgent solution to the problem that you solve in a nutshell. And so I hope this further makes sense to like any aspect of what you're working on, whether it's an article, a web page, a Vishita talk, whatever it is, you want to really incorporate all of these elements. And if you do, it just works. It works well.
So I have another question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So one of the things I was thinking about is doing like, the presentation for each week. And then also giving them some kind of homework, but also giving them a video of a pre-recorded meditation session where we actually go through a healing so that they can actually do a healing on themselves with the video so that they can actually experience
Yep.
it, and based on that do some homework. And so they have all these practices throughout, as throughout the different weeks of actually doing it,
Yeah,
experiencing the
I
result,
love it.
and then also writing down stuff so that they can become more aware of what's happening within them. And so so that's kind of my thoughts around how I wanted to do it. So I wanted to kind of run that by you, see what you think about that.
Yeah, I love that. And it touches on an important thing is reiteration of good teachers pose questions. So as you're building value with your classes, also don't think that you have to have worksheets that are really time intensive, because
Right.
all you have to do is frame questions. So your approach with them, giving them homework and having them respond, have them do the work. That's part of the process of teaching.
Gotcha. Uh-huh.
Teachers
Right.
teach you and then they say, now go do it. So just, that's a good thing to remember, that absolutely
Okay.
when you go to school, you have homework, and the homework is pretty cut and dry. They do the work.
Right.
So that actually goes to your that's easy for you as a teacher, because, and now I would make sure you don't grade it.
No,
I never grade
it's about
except
awareness. It's about awareness and becoming aware. But also, you got to pose the questions though, in my case, as to what I want them to think about in terms of, so that they get the proper understanding, I think is important, as to what to look at.
Yes. Absolutely. And I did remember what I was going to say, but before I say it, I was going to also say, for certification, which is in the thousands of dollars, I absolutely would grade their material, because you're basically endorsing that this person understands your content. So it's important at that point to know that they know what you want them to know, and that they can represent you, because they're going to be representing your brand, and you're certifying them.
Right.
So that case, absolutely, you want to have, I have an interview process. I have a, you have to do 20 binder sessions. You have to submit a letter of recommendation. You have 2 tests. And then we come together and I review all your material and I say yes or no. And I reserve the right to say no, even if you paid. That's just the way I roll, because I really want to make, like, hey, sorry, you learned a lot, but you aren't certified. That's my right. Just because you go to university doesn't mean you're going to get your degree. So, building all in ahead of time. Right.
One of the things that I actually made as a requirement in the class that I actually teach quantum healing, right? That's when you're talking about certification, stuff like that, is that I put them through a certain specified number of practices. So my requirement would be for them to do individual sessions on other people 20 times during that time.
Yes.
And that the client certifies they did it, on them, and the result, what they got. So that, you're forcing them to practice, because the practice is what makes people good at it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's the one thing.
Exactly.
With that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
So then wrapping this all back around into what I was going to say when my mind went blank is, make sure that it's open communication in terms of, you think that this is what they want, but is that what they really wanted? And so at the end of every master class, I forgot to mention this, it's in the bonus material, but now I will mention it. At the end of every master class, I do an anonymous survey, and I use surveygizmo.com. It's free for the, within the parameters that they give you, which has never been, I'm fine with that. I don't have to pay for it, never have. But I've created a quiz, and it's 10 questions long. and it combines all the data, and I can click on these charts and see, oh, this is what everyone's favorite class was out of the 5.
Mhm.
This was their concern, if there was any. So it's important during the rinse, wash, and repeat phase to address and improve and focus in on the things that they love and enhance them. Really, you should be getting feedback.
Okay, interesting.
I just had never mentioned that. So make sure that you're
That's
getting
good, yeah.
feedback. They'll tell you, you know, this is how it's over time, it's evolved. This course has evolved into what it is today, which is amazing compared to the first year. I mean, this stuff is like, we've gone so far beyond. I think it, Vishita 2017, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yep. 2017 was the first year I did this. And all I did for the whole 6 months was teach people how to do Vishita talk. That's it. And funnel people into a masterclass. Now we've branched into every single aspect of your Bliss Biz because of the fractal and because of the small doses. And now you guys are actually applying it and doing it all. So it's thrilling for me to see where this program has come compared to you know, a few years ago. So let me look at this chat. I do use SurveyMonkey. Oh, was it? What did I call it? Survey Gizmo? It is SurveyMonkey. I'm sorry. Thank you, Raluka. It is SurveyMonkey. SurveyMonkey.
Okay.
It's not Survey Gizmo. That's the one we use for Vibe Life. Sorry about that. Yeah. But either way, you can look up free survey software. There's tons to choose from. Just don't let them rope you into paying because you really don't need to. Who cares if it says presented by SurveyMonkey at the bottom? I could care less. So,
okay.
All right. So any questions? Anything that you're still thinking is a mystery or a block or something that you're not getting or dreading? Something you have been putting off? Let's air it out and lighten it up and get it going. Let's animate it. We don't want to freeze. We don't want to procrastinate. We don't want to, we want to move forward.
I'll go.
Okay.
I just want to say that I got a little bit held back because, you know, I was struggling with the whole aspect of the charging, the email, automatic emails, the registration of people, and all this bunch of junk, trying to automate that. Mind you, I'm not using Wix, I'm using WordPress, and trying to figure all that out. So after doing some extensive research on several aspects, and there's so many different options in WordPress, and some of them work, some of them don't, some of them you pay for and they still don't work, and some of them you pay for and they do work. You have to like experiment with all this stuff. And so it's a lot of work trying to find just the right thing. And so after some extensive research, what I found is I actually went with MemberPress, which is an add-on that's paid for in WordPress that I actually have used before about a year ago, because I've actually designed some stuff myself back then when I didn't know what I was doing back then. And I didn't actually use it, so I stopped using them. So I didn't pay them for like a year. And they happened to have their thing on sale at $100 off. So I paid like $150 for the whole year of using them. And they handle everything from all the registration to the membership subscription to one-time payments to emails back and all that stuff. And I'm like, holy fuck yeah. Excuse my French. You know, for $150.
Yeah, I love it.
It's a good deal. Because everything else, I looked at stuff that was like, you know, if you wanted to have all their knickknacks, you have to pay $300 for the year. I'm like, holy shit, you know?
Yeah.
And so $150 for the whole year is actually pretty good. And I have used them before, so I know how to set them up, which is another advantage because every software you have to learn everything new, you know. So I actually started setting some stuff up. So I finally built a landing page uh, for the masterclass series. Okay,
Yep.
there I actually also set it up as a membership thing so that you can select then to pay one-time full payment, or you can do it in 3 payments. You know,
Uh-huh.
so I have that all
Good.
set up now.
Yes.
That required some setting
Awesome.
up.
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
And they also have these ability to set up classes and stuff. And I haven't quite worked with that part of it yet.
Mm.
I don't know how flexible it is in terms of like bringing in your landing page. Like, I'm not sure, like with the whole center we're supposed to design, I haven't gotten to it yet. But I'm wondering, you know, if their main thing could be like a center, I don't know, or if I need to set it up as a center and then link to their thing. So I kind of got to figure things out, and
Yeah.
that's because there's a learning curve for me there, you know, but that's kind of where I'm at with all that stuff. So yeah.
That's awesome. And I want to bring up a good point that Kel and I were talking about, that I actually, because I've gotten in my zone of comfort that has provided more than enough for me to survive, where I didn't feel an urgency to expand past that because I was doing fine, and I value my free time and my lifestyle more than going, I'm going to get to $1 million, you know, like,
Right.
no, I'm not about that. I just want to be, you know, supported, not stressed, be able to go work out in the morning, be able to meditate, work for a couple hours, go pick my daughter up, be with her, go to her sports, travel. That's my life. I'm not like, I'm going to work to get to, you know, whatever.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I do have a drive, but that's not my motivation.
Right.
And so my point is, now I'm like, I've got so much automated and so much going that what would happen if I fractalized out into other places, such as Udemy and
the
Teachable.
classes, teaching. Okay, gotcha.
Right. So there's these other engines of universities that are for online coaches that I haven't even started using. And it just dawned on me the other day. I'm like, I bet if I go over there and say I have a class in water bending and I set it up on their program, they're going to be marketing it to all their hundreds of thousands of students. And so I could fill very quickly, because that's what they're in the industry for, having this database of amazing classes. So I was just thinking the other day, I was like, wow. And so to your point, yes, you can set everything up on your own to be a powerhouse like I have, in terms of having everything, you own it, it's yours, no one can take it, you don't have to pay fees. But there is that whole industry of setting up those same classes on all those platforms and letting them host the member center, because they would.
Well, and that's
if I go to Teachable and I say I want to teach a class on this, they would ask me for the information and it would go into their database, and they would take care of signups, of who's getting what information when, how they get it, how they can come back to it. You wouldn't have to deal with any of that, because that's what they do. So anyway,
yeah, I have to.
There's
I don't think,
two ways to slice it.
I don't think their classes part is that extensive. You know what I mean? I mean, it's still, you know, the whole thing is still like an add-on to like WordPress and doing most of the stuff yourself, but they do give you whatever tools, you know, but it's not like a full-blown, you know, like Teachable, so whatever. Company. But I'm wondering, which brings me to the question, you know, what is the main purpose of the member center?
Just to give them what they bought. It's the product. So the member center is where they
everything listed on there, basically. All the
it's the portal for their purchase. It's the page they return to anytime they want to partake of whatever you're giving them. So it's not a page that you would give to anyone. It's those who have purchased. So it's a member center, but essentially it's just a page, and you guys can copy mine I mean, I don't even care if you copy it
But it's,
verbatim.
you know,
like open the member center and go, what did she put in here? Okay, let's go do that.
well, here's the thing.
You know, just think about, yeah,
When you
go ahead.
in the member center, you know, when you're doing everything initially live, you're not going to have anything listed there until it's recorded, right?
Correct. Right.
So you're going to
It
be
would
adding
just
to
be
it as you're
placeholder.
recording things.
Exactly.
And then
You
they
would
can
say, section 1 coming soon, this is how. Section 2 coming
Okay.
soon, this is how. And then as you do it, it's in replay on demand, and you update it. So after you present, you go back to the site and you update it to the recording, press save, and it's a moving thing.
And one
eventually,
other question
once
I
it's,
have
yeah,
is,
go ahead.
how long do you allow them to be able to access the member center once they purchase the product? Is it indefinitely, or do you allow them to be in there for like a certain, you know, number of weeks during
Yeah.
the whole thing, or how much time do you give them to be part of that?
Yeah. So for me, if you buy my masterclass, you have access to it forever.
Oh, okay.
That's the way I roll. Forever. In fact, you have a seat to all new courses that are that. So I've hosted 13 masterclass series over the years.
Okay.
And if you were purchased on day 1, I've had some students who have gone through the program 13 times because each
Wow.
one is slightly different. Each one is slightly better. And to me, why wouldn't you want someone to be an avid brand advocate who's following you that's going to probably eventually get certified? So if it doesn't matter to me how many people are in the course,
Okay.
they come with me. And that's a bonus. That's a really good, strong way to say once you're in, you're always in.
Okay.
But to your point, I also, and this is going to be Elixir 6, when we talk about subscriptions.
Okay.
I also have a monthly subscription plan that's only available for the months that you pay. So it's sort of like a gym membership.
Oh, I see.
Where it's a lower price point, but as soon as you stop paying, you can't come to the gym anymore.
I got
It's expired.
Okay.
So you can do both ways. But what I like to do is if you buy a master class and it's for, you know, $300 plus, you will always have access to it. However, the monthly thing is cheaper, but if you stop paying, it's all gone. You can't access it anymore.
Huh.
So, Efrat, did you have a question too? I think I saw you go like this once, or were you? No. Okay. Okay. Awesome. So yeah, guys,
Wow.
we started a little late because we were talking and then we lost Dagmar and I was venting about COVID matters. So if anyone has anything they want to ask, we can go a little over. I want to also point out, if you're, so I don't know if you've thought about this or not, but if you can find a way to teach people what you want to master yourself, as you teach it, you get better at it because you're teaching it. That's the best way to master anything, is to teach it. So anything that you want to learn more about, you can set up as a program. And as you dive in, you become a master, but also through the students, because they ask questions and you get the answers and you explore. So I don't know why that just came to my mind. I hope that helps. I just wanted to say it because that's, you know,
Sure.
it's your bliss biz. You get to do whatever you want. You don't have to be an expert. You just need to compile the information and give it space for the program. And that's your job as a teacher. Yeah. So, yeah.
I know why that
Yeah.
might have came up. I had a thought earlier before I came on one. It was really cool how like we're in line with one another on our thoughts that way. And I forgot about it, and then you brought it up just now. I think the reason why you brought
Oh,
that up
good.
is because I was watching a video before I came on, and it was with Dougal Fraser. It's a small course that I'm taking with Angels and Auras, and it was really cool because
Okay.
we just had a 4-minute presentation, and I'm like, oh, I have time, I'll listen to it. I turned on, and what he said was that
Yeah.
empaths make the best business people. You may hear that you're too sensitive, you may think that you're too feeling. There's anything that gives you more intimacy, you know what the client wants. But then the interesting thing why I'm bringing this up is because you can do classes, you can do workshops, he said. And when you're designing it, you don't have to be an expert, he says. All you have to do is be 2 weeks ahead of the people who bought your course. And I'm like, this is exactly what I want to
Yes.
say. So anyways, that's what it was
True.
here, because it came up into your head.
Oh, that's awesome.
I wanted to bring it up and I had forgotten about it. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. No joke. No joke. I do that a lot. I tap into what's being thought of, and I'm like, this is, I don't know why I'm saying it, but someone wants to know or someone's thinking about. And I do that quite often, actually. But real story, I knew nothing. Well, not nothing, but very little about the logistics of ley lines and grid work on a formal level until I was fleeing Hurricane Irma, and I got all these downloads about what was happening. And I was like, oh my God, I got to do something about it. So I kid you not, all I did was wireframe out the things that I wanted to know about. And I said, I'm going to teach a master class. Who wants to join? And I had like 44 students pay me $300, and off we went. Week by week. I was like, okay, so now we're going to find out about this. And then the information came through, I churned it around, and I shared what I had learned and my insights. And I did get this gal who's been studying ley lines for 20 years.
Oh my God.
The most amazing testimonial from her saying, you have covered things that I haven't learned in 20 years and all this stuff. And I'm thinking, oh my God, little does she know, 6 weeks ago, I knew nothing about the subject.
Wow. That's incredible, girlfriend. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then, so yeah, curiosity. That's all it takes. All it takes. You can do and be anything you want. And you can use this framework to relay it and build a business. It's your bliss biz. So anyone have anything else they want to say or ask before we wrap up?
I think they should make a statement about curiosity makes cats smarter, not kills them, you know.
That's why they have 7 lives. Curiosity didn't kill the cat. It added to their lives because now they know. I agree. Absolutely.
Right.
I know. Yep. And we are so blessed, guys, to have the technology to broadcast our thoughts, our ideas to everyone around the world. Imagine if you had to find people locally within your town that were interested in what you're saying. It's like crazy to me to think that that's the way it used to be. And now we have access to 8 million people or however many people there are. And there are no limits. And it's 1 to as many as you get out there. And it's really exciting. So as we move forward into the remaining elixirs, you know, we still have next week with the mastermind. And then the 2 doses left. But anyway, be thinking through what I'm doing. When you see what I'm doing, try it on. It's yours too. If you like it, take it, put it in your bag. If you don't like it, say, I'm not going to do that. Whatever you know, just make sure you're watching what I'm doing as I roll out this water bending rocks program, because it's going to be a combination of here's the basic, here's the option, and it can be masterclass, certification, or subscription, or all of the above. So really all veins from, and it starts with a free 7-day water challenge. So how can you incorporate that into your topic? Giving some sort of free challenge, which really is a mini Vishada, which gets them engaged and wanting more, into what can you do for a program that you give them over 5 weeks, into a subscription model, into a, there can be a small gateway. You can think of the rocks themselves as the portal product, because they're only $25. You get them, you take the free 7-day water challenge, and you're like, mind blown, this is amazing, because it is amazing. And then you go, oh my God, I want more. I want to take the masterclass, or I want to get certified, or I want to take courses on the membership level. Voila, very rounded out process that works together. Okay.
Wow. So that's cool. So I have one more question. I have one more question before we go.
Okay.
So having participating in your program, your big program here, as we are, do we have forever then access to all the elixirs if we want to go back 7 months later and reread
You
stuff?
will have access. You will have access to this program until I'm dead and gone, and someone says I'm taking it down. Yeah, forever. And you'll even have access to all of the bonuses.
Okay.
So this is the cool thing. You may do nothing for a couple years and then go, oh man, what was that one girl on Ahata? Man, she sure had a lot to say. Let's check it out again.
Right. No, that's awesome,
Yes,
I can see myself doing that, going back, several months later, wanting to know about this same thing or whatever,
Forever. Yep. And you could even say, okay, I have this great idea. Now I want to start from scratch and make sure I do everything, add the ingredients and get it right. Do it. Do that.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for everything.
Yeah.
Very good.
Oh, you're so welcome. I'm really excited for each and every one of you. I guess my big message would be, don't wait, set a date. No one likes a long engagement. So if you're committed, say, we're doing this, and elope, get her done. Who cares if no one shows up? It'll be a good practice run, and, follow the process. Congrats to Dagmar. She actually did that. And you guys a lot of you are so close. Don't overthink it. Set a date, get people in the door, practice, and it's a starting point. Keep going. Yeah.
So I have one more question is, for the masterclass series, okay, I'm allowing now for one payment or for like a three monthly payments, right? For a sort of a, whatever you call it, payment plan. So I'm wondering, should I set that up instead of the payment plan on a monthly thing or no?
So what I did, I made it very simple for years. And I think it's still the way it is. It's pay in full at a discounted price.
Right.
So pay in full, $297.
Right.
Monthly, email me. If someone wants to do monthly, they email me, and I give them either a special subscription link or a credit card authorization form.
Right. Well, I have it set up now. I have it set up now that they can actually automatically going to be billed once a month for 3 months, basically, for a certain amount. So I have it set up. So it's perfect.
So what's your question?
I guess the question was whether instead of doing the payment plan, set it up as a monthly subscription for them to be able to access it forever, how long they pay monthly.
No, I would not. I would make it available forever, and it's a payment plan, because subscriptions imply that you're so I'm glad you're asking. And so master classes master classes should be offered. They get the product digitally and have access to it forever.
Okay.
Subscriptions are usually a lot less expensive, And we're going to talk about them. They're like 20 bucks a month or 10 bucks a month. But once their subscription runs out, they're done, right?
Yeah,
So
what do you include?
So there's a difference, and you don't.
What do you include what do you include in the subscription then, if not like a masterclass series?
So that's Elixir 6. Elixir 6 is all about subscriptions. But if you look on my website, my subscription is unlimited access to all my master classes.
Oh.
So instead of paying $1,000 to buy each one at 300 bucks, you get all of them. However, it's only for the amount of time that you're subscribed, and then it all goes away. So, you know, there's pros and cons to that.
So why would you not do it for like one masterclass is what I'm, I guess, trying to figure out here.
Because it's confusing to say, if you pay in full, you get it forever. If you want payment plans, you only get it for a certain amount of time. You don't want to confuse them. They want to know this is the price, and I either pay in full or I'm splitting up my payments.
Right.
But either way, I've bought this program and it's mine forever. Whereas a subscription model is not a payment plan. A subscription is saying, I'm joining this for 6 months. It's a time frame. It's like a gym membership or anything else you're subscribing to, a newspaper. Once you stop paying, you don't get it anymore.
So you're saying that you're selling it at different times, basically, the whole subscription versus masterclass thing. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Oh, yes. I don't offer them at the same time. It's too confusing.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I got you.
You can do but I'm glad that you said that, because whatever you decide, that's your call to action. Whatever your talk is about, you can choose at the end. Am I going to funnel them into a subscription, a masterclass, or to apply for a big program? But choose one. Don't do all of them. There's too much for them to decide on what they want.
I got okay.
So you can have a talk for each. Yeah. Yeah.
Now I understand. Okay, cool.
Okie doke. All right, guys. Well, I love you, and I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. And let me know how I can serve you. Make sure, if you haven't set up the time to meet with me for your personal session for Elixir 4, do so, because I believe the cutoff is a week or two for this Elixir. So it's next Tuesday. It's a week. So hurry up, get it in there. I'm gonna lose it. Elixir 4 is going bye-bye, because in 2 weeks we're starting with Elixir 5. And so anyway, awesome, guys.
We still have the group mastermind next week, right?
Yes. We still have the mastermind next week. Yes.
Okay.
So you're right. It's 2 weeks. We have 2 more weeks to have your personal session, because we want it to be done by the time Elixir 5 drops. Anyway, it's listed on the member center. I'm just gonna look now.
I feel very behind at the moment.
Me too. But that's okay.
Well,
I'll catch up.
Don't feel behind. As Kel, I think Kel, she went for it no matter what, and it's all good. You just come, however you are, okay? So, classes and handouts. Here we go. I'm just going to give you the date real quick, and then we'll go. Okay, so in the member sorry about that sound. I think someone's not on mute, but it doesn't matter. Here we go. March 2nd. Okay, so make sure it occurs before March 2nd.
Well, that's
Okie
next
doke.
week. That's less than a week.
Okay. All right, let me see. Hold on, let me see. So next. Today's the 24th. Next
Mhm.
week is the mastermind. So it actually should be before March 9th. Okay, March 9th. I don't know why I put second. It's always going to be up until the next dose. So that would be March 9th. I'm just changing it here. Okay?
Okay.
Yep. Awesome. Well, love you guys. And I think we are adjourned. Mwah, 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 mwah. Yep, I got all 4 of you and mwah, 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 mwah. Everyone who's not here, love you. All right, guys.
Thank you.
Peace to you. Love you, rock stars. We'll talk soon.
All right, sounds good.
Bye
Thank
for
you.
now.